What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So in this video today, we're going to be talking about the support effects that are going to be coming after the maintenance on February 18th at PST time. I believe it was 1900 PST is when it begins. It ends on the 19th of February at 1 AM PST time. And after that period is when the new update rolls out, version 9.4, including with the support effects. So what we're doing in this video today, of course, this list is massive. This is honestly one of the biggest support updates that Global has ever received. There are lots of different characters here, and I know people are always going to ask, you know, out of all of these support abilities, which are the ones should I focus on? And I know that the actual materials, the medallions that you use to feed to get the support abilities, a lot of them, you know, they're really hard to get, you know, and I understand that. And, you know, it's not always easy to just keep dupes of characters. But in this video today, I'm going to do the hard work for you as I've gone through this entire list of characters and I have picked out all of the characters that have unique abilities. And these are ones that I would probably focus on. We're also going to be talking about all of the new legends that are going to be receiving support abilities in this batch. Some of them are pretty good and some of them are more like just stat boosting ones that don't really make much difference. But a majority of the characters on this list are just stat boosting effects, so there are not really going to be any stat boosting ones that we're talking about, unless if they're legends, of course. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the regular characters that I've noticed that look really good, and then we'll move on to the legends towards the end of this video. So the first character is ID 221, which is going to be Happiness Punch Nami, a very old character that I'm sure everyone has at this point. I mean, you get given the Nami for free, don't you? No, this is the summonable one, I think. I don't even remember. Yeah, this is the summonable one. No, yeah, this is 100% the summonable one. Look, it's been so long, I don't even remember. Now, this character, you might think, okay, look, it's Happiness Punch Nami, she can't be that useful. However, she supports any int character, and once per adventure, when you reach the final stage, you get a 1.3 color affinity to your int characters for one turn. Very similar to Raid Zoro with his support ability, supporting your slasher characters. And if you guys have been playing the game for any extended period of time, you guys would understand how useful that ability is. And now you have that effect, but for int characters instead. Any type of character that give you free color affinity is awesome. Even on stages where you only have a limited amount of specials that you can use, or on Kizuna clashes, these type of abilities are priceless. So I would highly suggest to save copies of this character. I'm sure like this character is going to be very easy to pull, so make sure to start saving copies of this character because her support ability is very good. The next one, ID 314. Mad Monk Rogue. He's not really that good, but I wanted to point it out anyway because it's just very interesting. So again, one of the oldest rare recruits in the game, his support ability will support striker characters, and it's very similar to the treasure map Edward Weevil. Once per adventure, when you reach the final stage, he adds 150 times his attack to the supported character's attack as additional typeless damage, tap timing damage for one turn. So if we go ahead and look at his attack, 1443, pull up the calculator real quick, 1443 times 150, gives the character an additional 216 times his attack, or 216,000 damage that gets added to your normal attacks for that turn for the supported character only. It's not bad, not bad. I just don't think it's like an amazing effect that you're going to need, but I'm just pointing it out because it was kind of unique. Now, the next character, this is very good, right? So this is the old school rare recruit Moorea, ID 414. This character, again, very old. His support ability is very good, supporting Hogback, Perona, and Absalom. Once per adventure, when the supported character uses their special, boost attack against enemies with reduced defense by 1.5 times for one turn. So typically, you want to be putting this character on someone that reduces defense, or have someone else on your team with this support character on there that allows you to get the reduced defense, right? So this character is the conditional boost. You need someone to proc it. Now, if we have a look here, Hogback and Absalom, they're very difficult because not many units are available of these characters. But for Perona, that is a different story. So if we just type in Perona on the One Piece Treasure Cruise database, and we go down to a defense reducer, and we'll filter by 5-star characters, of course, we can have a look. There are 4 different options that you have here. So this is the old rare recruit from the time skip related era. This Perona is a 90% damage reducer and also reduces the defense of all enemies by 90% for 1 turn, and also reduces threshold and rainbow shield. This Perona, not too many people will have, is the summer rare recruit character. She is an EXP boosting captain, but she will go ahead and be, again, a 90% defense reducer for 1 turn. She also reduces special bind, which is good. This character was from the Blackbeard training event, so she is a 100% defense reducer for 2 turns. Gives you 2 turns of cooldown for your right column, and then gives you some orbs for your characters. And then this one recently came out on JP, so we don't have this yet. This will be coming out when we get, obviously, the Nami Robin dual unit and the Pudding unit. But this character also allows you to get the defense reduction as well. So any of these characters are highly advised to be used with the brand new character getting his support ability, the Moorea ID 414. Really great combinations that you can get here. Just to get a free conditional boost off is awesome. So this might be something you might want to look into potentially for a Kizuna Clash or something like that. If you wanted to get just a free conditional if you can't fit one on your team, this is another really good way about that. So yeah, just wanted to point it out because it was very interesting. Now, the next one after that is 1871, which is the rare recruit Bellamy, which is a Psy unit. He came out with V2 Fujitora. He has a very interesting support ability. He only supports Doflamingo, though, which is a little bit of a downside. But once per adventure, when you use a special of the support character, being Dofi, he reduces threshold and increased defense. So that's the blue shield and threshold by 2 turns. Really nice utility that you can use here. If there is like a stage where you can utilize, I don't know what Dofi you'd want to put this on. Maybe if you're trying to burst, like with an orb boost, you could use V1 Doflamingo, and if they have a threshold or an increased defense, you can utilize this. Any type of ability that have, you know, some type of support effect that can remove enemies' buffs are always going to be really useful to have, so make sure to look out for that. I just wanted to point this out, but again, he only supports Doflamingo, and typically Doflamingo characters are massive boosters for your team, or are just really unique characters that you typically use on boss stages. The only one I can think of that you wouldn't really want to be using on a boss stage would be like V2 Raid Doflamingo, who also gets a support ability in this batch, by the way, but it is just a stat boosting one. But yeah, you typically use V2 Raid Doflamingo the turn before the boss, that you can carry buffs into the boss room. But yeah, it's just interesting. Really wanted to point that one out. The next one is the last of these regular characters before we talk about the legends. Unfortunately, there aren't many, too many good ones. A lot of them, as I said, are stat boosting ones. But the next one is ID 2275, which is going to be Kami. So she came out with V2 Jinbei, I believe. She's very good. Her actual, as a unit, this unit is fantastic. She has double special activation as well. So if you use both of her specials in the same turn, you get a self-proccing 1.75 conditional boost against delayed enemies. And this is also followed on with her support ability. So she supports Sanji, Chan, and Papagu once per adventure when the supported character uses their special boost attack against delayed enemies by 1.3 for 1 turn. So it's not like Gecko Mori's 1.5 conditional, but a 1.3 can still help you out in a lot of cases. She only supports these 3 characters though. Now, as for Chan and Papagu, they don't have many units in the game, but for Sanji, there are plenty of units in the game. But remember, it's only against delayed enemies. Now, unfortunately, the only good Sanji that delays is ID 1961, which is this Sanji right here, the Wedding Sanji from the Fortnite. He's actually a pretty good unit. 12-turn cooldown, changes recovery, tandem, and bomb into matching, reduces the cooldowns of fighter and powerhouse by 1 turn, and he also gives you the delay. So you could put that Kami on this Sanji in order to get a self-proccing conditional. Otherwise, you would have to utilize some sort of other character to give you the delay if you don't run this type of combination. But wanted to give you guys an example as to what type of combo can really work out. So now that we've done that, let's actually start talking about the Sugo Fest exclusive characters that will be receiving support abilities. So the first one is actually the old school legend Whitebeard. So unfortunately, his support ability isn't really that great. He supports any strength unit, and he gives them 12% attack that gets added to that unit. So his base attack is 1973, so we get 1973. And how much was it? It was 10%, I think it was. 12%. So times 0.12 gives you 236 attack. But remember, 1973, you're going to have typically 200 cotton candy, or 200 base attack added with 100 cotton candy, times by 0.12 gives you 260 additional attack to that unit. So that's actually not too bad. There are definitely better statistical ones that you could put on, but look, legends typically have the best stat boosting ones in the game. Wanted to point it out because he's getting one, but overall it's not that amazing. The next character that will be receiving a support ability is actually Sabo. So the old school legend Sabo will be receiving a support ability. Again, unfortunately, is another stat boosting one, but he supports Monkey D. Luffy and also Coalla. Now, he actually will go ahead and at level 5 add 14% attack, HP, and recovery to the unit. Now, the main character that would definitely get major benefits from this would be Stampede Luffy, because Stampede Luffy obviously is very centered around himself, especially with his special ability giving him attack or boost, base stat boost, his captain ability giving himself a 4.5 boost. So everything is centered around that unit. Now, unfortunately, if you don't have the support Sabo, who is arguably a better unit compared to this guy, but if you don't have that, then this is the next best thing. Of course, if you do choose to run this Sabo on Stampede Luffy, it means you can't run Stampede Sabo on that team or any other version of Sabo on that team, but it's just an option that is available to you. 14% base stat is quite incredible, honestly, with every single stat that he provides there. So 3729 plus 500 from Cotton Candy times by 0.14. So you get an addition, nearly 600 HP is very, very good. And as for attack, so 1754 plus 200 times by 0.14, 273 additional attack. Like it's so much. You get so much stats from this support ability, so it's something that it's worth pointing out. It is actually quite incredible. The next one after that is going to be Bartolomeo. Barto, this one is actually freaking awesome. This is one that I would honestly contemplate spending support medals on because it's that good. So this character supports Nico, Robin, and Cavendish, and at level 5, once per adventure when you're inflicted with paralysis, he reduces it by 3 turns. That is phenomenal. So any type of utility-based support ability, ones like Corazon, Lafitte, any character that just says whenever you get inflicted with X debuff, remove X debuff by a certain amount of turns, amazing. You want to go ahead and max those ones out. And especially paralysis, and he reduces it by 3 turns. Typically, support abilities only reduce it by 2 turns, and this is a 3 turn, so this is great. Really, really good one. Considering Barto isn't really a good legend, they gave him a very powerful support ability, so I'm very thankful for that one. The next one that gets a stat boost is going to be Blackbeard. So Blackbeard, as I said, stat boosting. He supports any dex unit, adds 10% base attack and health to the supported character's base attack and HP. So this character, 1945, plus an extra 200, and then it was 10%, so 0.1, so it gives you 214 base boost to the unit. So that's not terrible. Not terrible, could definitely be better. What's his HP stat looking like? Yeah, his HP is quite high. And remember, this is including his keyed limit break, and his keyed limit break will be coming after the maintenance period as well. Of course, you can't do it straight away because the keys aren't available, but that's an option that you have if you do want to do that. But honestly, I don't think it's worth it overall, but wanted to point it out. Now, the next one, surprisingly, is going to be Legend Buggy. Legend Buggy actually gets a support ability. Now, his one is very interesting because he only supports characters with a cost of 40 or less, which, honestly, there are a lot of characters that this could be applied to, but once per adventure when the supported character uses their special, he gives that unit a 2x attack boost for that turn. There aren't too many circumstances where I could think this would be useful, but, like, say, for example, if you're on like a mini boss and you have a type advantage unit, you could use some sort of special to give your team some sort of buff, and then that unit will also get a 2x attack boost. I don't know, there could be some circumstances where this could be quite good. Even at level 1, still a 1.5 attack boost, that's not even that bad, but a 2x attack boost at level 5 for 40 or less, so this can be applied to any Colosseum unit, any rare recruit character that does not include legends. Like, there's so many characters this could be applied to, so, you know, wanted to point it out. Now, the next one is going to be Shirahoshi. So this character actually recently got one on JP, and we're already getting it on Global, so this is a bit of a weird one. But Shirahoshi, she will support Monkey D. Luffy, Fukaboshi, and Neptune, and it says, once per adventure when you reach the final stage, changes the supported character's orb into a rainbow orb and recovers 2000 HP. So the recovery of HP is quite nice. Another character that this could be applied to would be like Stampede Luffy once again, because him getting a Rainbow Orb means that you could actually use his special ability and give himself that massive boost, and the enemy cannot remove that Rainbow Orb that's applied to that Luffy, which means that no matter what, Luffy's going to be hitting like an absolute truck. The only circumstance this wouldn't work is if in the enemy's preemptive attack they give you block orbs, because the support effect will activate after the enemy's preemptive, and this does not state that it removes block orbs. So if in the preemptive they give you block orbs, this will not work. You'll still get the recovery of HP, but you will not get that Rainbow Orb. So just wanted to put it out there because some people might not understand that. The next one, I love this one. This is a fantastic support ability, Cat Viper. So this includes his 6-star and his 6-star plus. Now his support ability will support Tony Chopper, Inu, and also Pedro, and it says once per adventure when you're inflicted with bind or attack down, he reduces bind and attack down by 2 turns, and that is applied to the whole team, by the way. So no matter which character gets binded, you'll reduce it by 2 turns, and then attack down also reduced by 2 turns. Really, really good effect. Again, this is one that I'd be tempted to feed the support medals to, just because of how useful this effect is. I know in JP, he definitely sees some play, so reducing of bind is always going to be a nice support ability to have. And the last one that we're going to be talking about is V2 Lucci. So V2 Lucci is actually getting his support ability. This only recently arrived on JP with the introduction of 6+ Lucci, and Global did not have his support ability yet, but now we're getting it fast-tracked, which is really, really good. So the thing about it is that he has 2 separate support abilities. So this is his unevolved form. His unevolved form, the regular version, is a Powerhouse Captain, and his support ability will give Powerhouse characters 8% base stats to that unit. So that's a pretty decent stat boosting one. However, the Super Evolution is a Shooter Captain and has a different support ability, which says, attaching to any shooter character, when you reach the final stage, you get a 1.5 color affinity to shooters for 1 turn. Now, you know, as I've seen previously, most color affinity support abilities are 1.3. This is a 1.5. So just getting a free 1.5 color affinity to your shooters is crazy. Again, this is another perfect ability to have for Kizuna clashes or any circumstances where you're restricted to the amount of specials you can use, because this means that you can get a free color affinity boost whilst putting more characters on your team. So it really frees up space on your crew. A fantastic support ability. This is definitely one that I'm 100% using support medals on. Such a phenomenal ability, and eventually when that Halloween Ace legend comes out, this is going to be a perfect character to have for when that eventually arrives. But that's going to conclude all of the major support abilities, guys. As I said, many of these are just stat boosting ones. All of the ones that we mentioned in this video are kind of unique and ones that I would suggest focusing on maxing out. As for the legends, it really comes down to what type of teams you're going to be using. Some of them have really unique abilities, like Barto reducing the paralysis. You've got Shirahoshi for the Rainbow Orb, Cat Viper reducing attack down and bind, V2 Lucci for the color affinity, and then we talked about, you know, the Gecko Moorea conditional, the Kami conditional, the color affinity from Happiness Punch Nami. There's so many different units you can utilize here, so make sure to focus on ones that you have in your character box and just figure out which ones are going to work best with your account. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.